Welcome to UA Live. I'm Max Buckley.
And I'm Ellie Harramft. Coming up in the show, we look at construction changes, track and field, and young authors.
The home bleachers at the Marv Moorhead Memorial Stadium were torn down this month in preparation for the new stadium. Tad Fountain reports on the changes taking place at Upper Arlington High School as construction for the new high school begins.
During spring break, Upper Arlington High School underwent significant changes. Students and staff will see initial progress toward the new high school when they return on March 19th. The most noticeable change is the limited parking on Brandon Road and Mount Holyoke. To combat this, Chris Potts, Chief Operating Officer for the Upper Arlington Schools, said that they secured the use of Macy's parking at Kingsdale for students to use. This change to parking has students feeling mixed emotions about how they plan on parking returning from spring break.
It's annoying because I already parked far away and I'm gonna have to leave earlier to get that same spot.
So usually my mom drops me off, but I'm pretty glad that we're gonna be able to park inside of the Macy's because my dad's Mustang hasn't been taken out of the garage for 5 years. And if I get a single scratch on it, he's gonna kill me.
With this 11-minute walk from the Macy's lot comes some more changes other than parking. Upper Arlington Police Officer John Rice has a few safety reminders for students parking and walking.
Best advice, and I harp on this all the time, you got to be at least 5 feet away from a driveway apron. So around the school, it's marked with yellow paint, but once you get further out in the neighborhoods, you're not going to have that luxury. So you just kind of have to guess. But 5 feet from any driveway opening. Also with walking, just make sure you hit the crosswalks, stay on the sidewalks. The sidewalks will be open on Brandon and Mount Holyoke, so at least one side will be. And just watch for cars. Make sure if you're parking, say a Northwest or actually anywhere, you have to have at least 2 feet between your car and the car behind you.
School administration has stressed that parking is going to be an issue while the Upper Arlington High School campus is reconstructed with a new state-of-the-art building. Before construction for the new high school can begin, they have to adjust for all the athletics that will be losing their athletic fields to the new building. Over the break, the new temporary weight room was set up in half of the freshman gym. Bleachers were removed from the space, and the other half will be used for sports teams. This new weight room has the same amenities as the old one, just in a new location. Before they can start constructing the new high school, they have to adjust for all of the athletics. Currently, the baseball and softball fields are not being used, the track is being rebuilt, meanwhile the students are able to practice in the upper floor LC. These modifications to our high school may seem cumbersome right now, but they are building toward a brand new school that will be much better for students, staff, and the community. This has been Tad Fountain reporting for WARL.
The official groundbreaking ceremony is at the high school, April 7th at 4 p.m. All community members are welcome to partake in this historic event.
Upper Arlington High School's prom is April 13th at the Columbus Convention Center in the Patel Grand Ballroom. Tickets are $70 and there is no reserved seating this year. Juniors and seniors can purchase tickets at local level events before April 7th.
On Wednesday, the symphonic choir left for their New York City trip that they go on every other year. The choir is made up of juniors and seniors, and they will be performing at various churches and venues around the city. The students also get to see the opportunity to see the award-winning musical Dear Evan Hansen.
The choir students aren't the only students that got to go on a trip this year. In February, the orchestra students traveled to Disney World. Rebecca Murray reports more.
On February 13th through 18th, all UAHS orchestra students had the opportunity to go to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida to participate in a music clinic and perform Disney songs in front of people at the park.
We're taking 6 classes and smushing them into 2 orchestras. They'll be performing at Disney Springs.
Prior to going on the trip, the orchestra students spent time in class during office hours and outside of school perfecting their Disney music, but that isn't the only way the program prepared for the trip.
The more trips we've taken, the more I've realized that the preparation really is in terms of the financial stuff, like making sure that the buses are paid for, the hotels paid for, all that.
Disney World provides many opportunities to performing groups across the country, one of them being a music workshop that gives students the experience of playing in a recording studio.
They're going to sight read music on the spot and then play that music with the scene from whatever Disney movie that comes from.
The day after the music workshop, the orchestra students performed at Disney Springs, Disney's outdoor shopping center.
So the fact that you're performing for people that don't know us, which is one of the things that we always strive for.
Aside from playing their instruments, the students had time in all 4 Disney parks to ride the rides, watch the shows, and experience the Disney magic. Junior Dora Angelina reflects on how the trip has affected her.
It has benefited me as an orchestra player because it has helped me perform in big venues and to see how the music is magical for the little kids. My favorite part of Disney is the whole atmosphere of the park and riding all the rides and just having fun with my friends.
The trip benefited orchestra students in many other ways besides improving their playing skills and having fun at the parks.
It's going to make orchestra a tighter-knit family. You know, it's a 16-hour bus ride down to Orlando. You're on a bus together. You're going to get to know people. Students from different classes are going to know each other.
This is the orchestra program's second time traveling to Disney World, so there is a possibility the trip will occur again in the future. This has been Rebecca Murray reporting for the WARL.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the first 3 weeks of April, will have altered bell schedules due to end-of-course testing.
Now to sports with Sydney Lape and Jen Gomez.
Well, welcome to sports. Columbus man Greg Nigel had the longest lasting perfect March Madness bracket ever created. His bracket had its first loss Thursday night when Purdue beat Tennessee.
He picked 49 games correctly in a row. The previous record was 39 games. Mr. Nigel had Gonzaga beating Kentucky in the finals, which can still happen if his other choices are correct.
In other basketball news, girls basketball player Macy Spielman received second-team All-State honors. The girls finished their season with a record of 19-6.
Boys basketball players Max Mars and CJ Carsados were selected for the District 10 All-Star Game. Their coach Matt Weicker was selected as District 10's Assistant Coach of the Year.
University of Illinois women's gymnastics commit Allie Morgan attends UAHS but is not a part of UA's gymnastics team. Maria Manessi reports on her gymnastics journey.
Allie Morgan, a junior at Upper Arlington High School, started competing for universal gymnastics at the age of 6. Many years of hard work and dedication later, she received an offer as a sophomore to join the gymnastics team at the University of Illinois. Allie talks more about what it's like having already committed to college.
It's definitely been a relief knowing that I'm already going somewhere, but at the same time, I just need to keep up my good grades to make my coaches happy.
The University of Illinois wasn't the first to offer Allie, although she felt it was right in the end.
It wasn't my top pick at first, but then visiting the campus and meeting the coaches, it was after that.
When she announced that she had committed, she received many positive comments.
It was a lot of positive comments because people were just like encouraging me and like saying like what a good job I did, and it's like definitely a relief.
Allie has chosen not to participate in school gymnastics so she could focus on club.
I haven't done school gymnastics because my coaches are really strict and they want us in the gym focusing on club so we can go to the collegiate level, and going into high school it would be like kind of like a distraction.
As she isn't the first one in her family to commit, it makes her more excited for her future.
It's definitely cool because both my parents went to college for sports and then my 2 older sisters went somewhere, and it's like motivating seeing their experience, and I'm excited for mine.
This has been Maria Manessi for the WARL.
Allie Morgan will be competing in Michigan on April 11th at a level 10 gymnastics meet. This is the highest level a club gymnast can compete at. Good luck, Allie.
With construction beginning at the Marv, the Upper Arlington lacrosse teams have no games at UAHS this season. The boys' home games will be played at Wellington. They won their home opener against Kilbourne on March 26, 10-8. On the 29th, the Bears beat Thomas Worthington 16-3.
Our consecutive 4-year state champs girls lacrosse team will be playing at the Tremont Field this season. The girls lost to DeSales 5-8 on March 21st. This was their first loss in the state of Ohio since 2014. The girls' home opener is on April 4th at 7 p.m. against Pickerington Central.
Boys tennis had their home opener on March 27th. The boys varsity team beat Bexley 3-2. The following day, boys volleyball had their home opener against Pickerington North. They lost in 3 sets. The boys got to play at home. This is a luxury not all of the spring sports teams have.
Boys baseball will be hosting only 6 of their 30 games this season due to the construction of the new high school. These games will be played at Fred Beekman Park and Grandview Heights High School.
Softball's home games will also be played at Fred Beekman Park. They have 11 home games out of their 27 total games, and their home opener is April 1st at 5:15. The record is currently 1-1.
Our track team is also facing changes due to construction. Rebecca Murray has more on the story.
The Upper Arlington track and field team began their spring practices on March 4th. The team had a majority of their first practices in the Upper LC at UAHS due to cold weather conditions and is now practicing at middle schools Jones and Hastings since the UAHS track was torn down over spring break due to the construction of the new high school. These changes will affect the team's schedule.
We don't have any home meets since Jones and Hastings are both small. We have to have our senior night at Thomas Worthington, and we're just going to have to be traveling a lot this year.
While not having any home meets is a major effect of the construction, the track team is more inconvenienced by their practice schedules. With about 185 JV participants and 75 varsity participants, the two teams must be split up for their practices, raising complaints among track students.
Honestly, as a second-year track star, I'd say it's kind of annoying that we have to be split. I think being as a whole team really just brings the community together and really just helps the team chemistry a lot more than being split at Jones and Hastings.
There's only one throwing coach, so some days we just don't even have a coach there with us, so it's just really awkward.
The varsity practices at Jones and the JV practices at Hastings begin at 4:30 after the middle school practices, causing shortened practices for middle schoolers since they don't get out of school until 3:20.
I don't like it because our practice is cut short to under an hour.
The difficult parking situation caused by the construction at UAHS makes getting to practice locations even more difficult for track participants.
The construction made practice just really difficult just because when we lift before, we are really rushed to get out of there so we can get to either Jones or Hastings on time. The majority of the throwers are freshmen or people that can't drive, so carpooling is really difficult.
While the team is facing difficulties due to the construction, they have a promising season ahead of them as both the boys and girls team won their first meet on March 26 against Worthington Kilbourne in St. Charles.
I hope that we win OCCs and do really well at district finals.
This has been Rebecca Murray reporting for the WARL.
Good luck to all our Golden Bears as they adjust to the new changes and begin their spring seasons.
Now to Will and Alex with Community News.
Welcome to Community. Franklin County's first medical marijuana dispensary, Tesseran Cannabis Company, opened this Tuesday, March 26th. Close to 60 people were waiting in line when the doors opened, and there was a steady stream of customers throughout the day.
An 8th grade student at Hastings Middle School is creating a music video for Mr. Colares, the principal at Wycliffe Elementary School, who is battling cancer. All Wycliffe alumni are encouraged to submit a video of them singing, dancing, or playing their favorite Wycliffe Town Hall meeting song. A link for this submission can be found on Schoology.
If you're traveling this summer, there's a passport fair being held at the Upper Arlington Public Library on April 6th.
Walk on in. No appointment is required. They will have multiple agents that will help you out.
A new class this year at Upper Arlington is Idea Seminar. Students can sign up for this class in place of public speaking. Ava Toll reports.
The Upper Arlington High School added a new and innovative course to their roster for the 2018-2019 school year. Idea Seminar is a semester class that is offered to all grades. The class counts for public speaking credit, but has a different take on learning the content.
Mrs. Moore likes to make things more vague and open-ended, so you use more creativity when you're coming up. And she loves seeing you think out of the box and come up with ideas she never came up with.
To match the non-traditional teaching, the class is taught in the glass classroom, where kids are encouraged to interact and collaborate with the ease of movable chairs and tables.
And this is the perfect classroom because it's more open and people talk and there's more communication between people.
The class changes its angle of focus each semester, all while finding new ways to incorporate the public speaking credits.
Right now we are working on creating installations to put in the new school that carries over the memories that are in this school for the kids going to the new school. And so they kind of get a piece of the school in the new one.
The pieces will be on display within the hallways of the new school. Idea Seminar has brought a new option to the classic public speaking course through encouraging innovation and creative thinking among the students at UAHS. This has been Ava Toll reporting for the WARL.
If you are interested in the class, check out the program of studies on your laptop for more course information.
The last day to visit China Dynasty on Lane Avenue is Mother's Day this year. After 32 years in operation, the owners have decided to retire.
The Angry Baker opened on the Mallway by Jones Middle School on March 15th. Check out their website for operation hours.
The Columbus Zoo is holding a job fair at Downtown High School on Saturday, April 6th from 9:30 to 12:30. If you're looking for summer employment opportunities, make sure to check it out.
A popular shopping place in Upper Arlington is Giant Eagle Market District. This grocery store had some major changes in the past few weeks. Peter Zelnick reports.
Earlier this year, Giant Eagle Market District at Kingsdale Shopping Center made changes to its aisle layout and rearranged sections. I asked Assistant Store Manager Matt about the new changes.
So the reason is that our store was kind of, most people were familiar with the layout, but it wasn't very well organized. Our grocery section was all over the place, and there was aisles where it was just random stuff. Didn't really make a lot of sense. So what they've done is they've brought all the grocery stuff into the first 6 aisles, so it's all nice and organized, so people who are new to the store, they can figure it out a little faster, and then they also widen the aisles. So it's a much cleaner, more open design.
The new longer and wider aisles are 1 through 6. The newly arranged section is where shoppers will find their main grocery needs. The bread aisle is now next to the produce section, and the miscellaneous stuff such as office supplies, toys, and magazines are in aisle 11, which is closer to the pharmacy section of the store. Near the deli, dairy, and freezer sections, store customers will find pet food, cleaning supplies, and the home section. Many of these changes have indeed confused some of the UAHS students as well. Student Meredith Bailey talks about her experience in the newly arranged store.
I can't find my bread. Like legitimately, I've gone there and I've looked for my jams and bread and I just can't find it. So yes, I think it's confusing.
The food court has also changed. The prepared food stand in the middle is gone. The burger station is now next to the donuts. The sandwich station is located by the pizza station. And a newly added sushi and sake stand is located by the floral department. Plus, there is a new mochi bar where customers can get ice cream balls in a variety of flavors. But overall, the changes in Giant Eagle have made a big improvement. This has been Peter Zelnick signing off from WARL.
Market District also offers a curbside express for busy households. With summer right around the corner, Devon Pool is going into phase 3 of improvements.
This will include replacing 2 mechanical buildings with 1 large structure, repairing the concrete decks, and upgrading the toddler pool.
On March 18th, an armed robbery occurred at the CVS pharmacy on Henderson. There are currently 3 suspects, but there were no injuries. Police are still looking for the suspects.
On a happier note, applications for Upper Arlington Civic Association Junior Director Program are due April 1st. In-person interviews will be held in April. For more information on this program, go to the uaca.org.
Now to Maria with Lifestyle.
Welcome to Lifestyle. Girl Scout troops around different states finished up selling their popular cookies on March 24th. According to ABC6, a total of nearly 1.5 million packages of cookies were distributed around Central Ohio. They even had a new gluten-free flavor, caramel chocolate chip. Every year, the Ohio Theater presents musicals from all around the country. This past January and February, the popular musical Hamilton was shown and loved by many. This show got nominations for a record-breaking number of 16 Tonys and won 11. Alex Chris got an inside look at Hamilton, the musical in Columbus.
The U.S. tour of Hamilton stopped in Columbus from January 29th through February 17th. The show ran at the Ohio Theater 26 times while in town, once a day on weekdays and twice a day on weekends. It began touring in December of 2017, which gave fans all around the globe a chance to see the show. The Ohio Theater, which holds 2,779 people, was sold out for all 26 shows of Hamilton that ran.
So I just saw Hamilton and it was really good. It was a really good experience. I learned a lot and I really enjoyed it. I recommend it.
There are currently 2 touring casts of Hamilton, those being the Angelica cast and the Philip cast. The Angelica tour stopped here in Columbus while the Philip tour was in Orlando, Florida. On February 8th, Peter Matthew Smith, who plays the role of King George in the Angelica tour, came to our very own UAHS. He talked with the cast of the musical about his experiences on Broadway and what being in the cast of Hamilton has been like for him.
To meet King George from Hamilton, it was really interesting because he was friends with our director, Jackie Commissar, and it's really awesome to see a professional in the theater world, and he got to talk to us and he was really awesome, and he has a lot of insight on, going into theater and stuff, which I think is cool. I mean, I'm not doing that, but like, it's cool.
Hamilton will continue touring the United States for the remainder of 2019, making stops in other big cities such as Dallas, Detroit, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. This has been Alex Chris reporting for the WARL.
Hamilton will be having upcoming performances in Michigan, Texas, and New York. At UA High School, the community school participates in Culture Scene every year to help showcase their artwork and music talents. Max Buckley looks at the event and the creative work done by students.
On March 7, 2019, the annual Culture Scene took place in both the first and second floor Learning Center. This event is a community school fundraiser in which students display their artwork for others to see. The fundraiser is $5 per ticket and provides free food along with music performed by students and teachers.
Every time, she doesn't know who he is.
I caught up with Upper Arlington Junior and community school member Luke Jones, who shared his thoughts on the night.
What I like most about Culture Scene is basically, it's kind of cool that, like, you know, because I don't get to see like other people's art or them, you know, do a couple songs or anything. You know, it's all other people in community school, so I enjoy seeing them do that. So that's pretty cool. Truth. I don't know, not many things like this to do. It's just, you know, something to do. Pay $5, you get a free meal, basically. So that's pretty cheap if, you know, you're trying to eat on a budget. And I don't know, you'll probably know some people in community school, so it'd be cool to see their, you know, what they're working on.
This has been Max Buckley reporting for the WARL.
This event is a great way for students to showcase their music and art to the community. The money raised for this event goes towards field trips and events for community school. Governor Mike DeWine announced on Friday, March 29th, that the gas tax will increase by 11 cents on July 1st if the Senate approves the measure. Ohio's House has already agreed to the increase, the money needed to help with the maintenance of roads, highways, and bridges. Now back to Ellie and Max on Maine.
With the month wrapping up, March Book Madness has narrowed down to the Final Four.
The Final Four includes The Book Thief, How to Kill a Mockingbird, The Great Gatsby, and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
On Arlingtonian.com, you can nominate a senior classmate that best showcases the class of 2019.
Whether it's through art, students, athletics, or actions, the Arlingtonian is trying to capture the proud faces who represent the class of 2019. Through her determination, a current senior did just that in her recently published children's book. Jessica Stelzer reports.
What if you could accomplish your dream in high school? Paige Plagins did just that. She is a senior at Upper Arlington, as well as an illustrator and author of the published book, Cookie Moon.
It's a story that explains the phases of the moon, but in terms of a cookie. So like when the moon grows, it's like the cookie growing in the oven, and when the moon gets smaller, there's a man in the sky who eats the cookie.
She got the inspiration for her book from her grandparents, says Plagins.
There's two old people that live in space in my story, and that's kind of who they're inspired by, my grandparents. Because my grandma, she always made cookies when I was over there, and the story's all about an old woman who makes cookies in space. And my grandpa was always eating whatever she was making.
She wanted to make it a children's book because her dad used to read books to her before bed. She also wanted to make it a children's book because she has a gift of drawing.
I've kind of just been drawing since I was little. It's just always something I've loved to do, so I guess just like practice and just like drawing throughout the years has really helped me to learn how to draw.
For those that have the same gift as Paige and are looking to get published, she has advice for you.
The hardest part for me was just starting, so if you want to do it, just go out and find a publisher and do it.
The process was rigorous and included lots of back and forth with her editor. But Plagins says that the hardest part is the illustrations, where she spent 2 weeks of her summer straight working on it.
One obstacle that I faced was with one illustration that I made. The character was kind of cut off the page, and they thought that could be an issue when it was printed. They didn't want her to like get cut off more, so there was kind of like a little back step there where I had to like remake the character and then Photoshop it back on there.
However, the experience is well worth it for other people looking to become a published writer or illustrator. She has had signings where she met with some of her readers and has even been interviewed on talk shows. You can buy her book on Amazon for $14.95 today. This has been Jessica Stelzer reporting for the WARL.
Elizabeth Abby Hart died on Friday, March 15th. She was the attendance clerk at Upper Arlington High School for 30 years.
She was a beloved staff member, coworker, and friend. She was 79 when she passed. Upper Arlington students are officially in the fourth quarter of the 2018-29 school year. That marks less than 9 weeks of school until summer. That's it for this edition of UA Live. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at UA Live for more updates and exclusive content. Thanks for tuning in.
I am lost in the clouds, can't get down.